Hey guys, it's Shox. I hope you are doing well. Today we're gonna actually talk about like the vitality loss. You know, they had been like undefeated for 7 events, winning 7 trophies. I mean, in best of 3, right? I think they were topping. I can't remember exactly like the numbers, but it's actually crazy. I think it was like something like 37 best of 3 and best of 5 series. Something we actually like never saw before in the history of Counter-Strike. And the king has fallen in IEM Cologne 2025 against MOUZ in the semi-final in the Access Arena. So, I mean, we knew, of course, that that day will actually happen, but no one would actually know when. That's the thing. So, it was here, it was on the 2nd of August, with the match being planned at 7 PM and 50 minutes. This is where actually Vitality lost. And they lost in a pretty much like convincing manner, let's say, against MOUZ. So we're gonna talk and try to understand exactly what went wrong and why did they lose. Was it because it was bad luck? Maybe where it was because MOUZ were just so impressive and just so good. I actually gathered like some insight about it, worked a bit on it, and I do have some explanation about the loss from Vitality. So let's check it out. So first thing that has to be said definitely is the fact that actually we had 2 players from Team Vitality, ZywOo and flamez, who are really important, who actually like was definitely like not in a good form and was totally on an off day. When you have the best player in the world coming into your team, being always top 1, top 2, top 3 Chill TV player of the year, and when you are going into a semi-final and he's averaging a 0.63 rating on the series, that he's basically totally a shadow and he's not having any impact, it will of course impact your team. You know, when you have the best player in the world in your team, this is something that is definitely like a strength, you know, and when you don't have that strength, then of course you're gonna have some troubles behind it, you know, because he's really like important, if not the most important piece of the team in Vitality. And just for some statistics, so you know, the thing is, actually it was the lowest performance from ZywOo in tier 1 since he actually started in 2018, something like that. Yes, he did some bad maps, but as I checked, it was only best of 1. And on a best of 3, sometimes he could have like 1 bad map like that, but he would actually bounce back on the 2nd map, and if not on the 3rd. Doing actually like 2 really bad maps like that was a first time for ZywOo. Which is actually like kind of surprising, because if you look at about how he played about the group stage, when he got out of the group stage in Cologne, he's averaging a 1.31, something like that rating. So he's in a good form, you know, he's not like overperforming as Donk with 1.50, but 1.30 is totally fine for him, you know, and it's his standard, let's say, and he's playing like pretty good. So I don't know exactly why it comes from. He did some interview, pretty like short one though. He just said that basically he didn't have like nothing was going for him in this series. This is his words. So I'm assuming pretty much like the timings, you know, maybe not having a lot of luck. But besides that, honestly, after watching the game itself, he was definitely not the ZywOo like we all know for, you know, like being always aware about everything, not missing shots. He was missing shots with AVP. He was doing some riff with a rifle, and he actually like died sometimes by behind, not being ready for what is coming. So I don't know. Apparently he was not sick or anything. So the real question is why? You know, like we don't know ZywOo on a day off. You know, that guy is a machine and he never have a day off. Why this was a day off? You know, can happen. You know, but let's put it on the side and let's see in the upcoming months and upcoming events if he can bounce back. He should, right? Because he's known as the best player of the world. I mean, close to Donk, of course. So he should definitely come back. And if not, then it's gonna be like really scary for Vitality, I believe. The other guy on the line is flamez. You know, flamez got a really important and hard run in Vitality. And it was also like one of his worst performance on his career with 0.51. We all know, like for example, on Train, he had like a 118, you know. So this is definitely like not how good he can be, you know. So when you have 2 big players like that in your team at this highest level of Counter-Strike, playing in a semi-final in an arena, of course you can't accept win with this individual performance. So that's the first reason. Second reason is, of course, we are coming back from the player break. And I think I told you the last time on the last video that the thing is like the player break is really tricky, can be really tricky for teams, especially when you are in a good shape. Why? Because when you are entering the player break and you are in a good shape, it can be hard to actually come back, especially when you are Vitality, you won everything before the season, so you are really like just relaxing. And when you come back, it's actually like, yeah, maybe like, even if you want to be like 100% focus and 1% giving like your hard work and your dedication, it's just human and it's just normal that maybe you're gonna relax a bit more and you're not gonna top like the 120% that you should normally have, and maybe you will have like 90%, you know, and this small percent will actually make the difference from the other teams, you know, because the other teams didn't win a trophy, 7 trophies, they didn't win the Grand Slam, they didn't have the same season, so they have a lot of work to be done to actually try to improve and to get better. And a team like MOUZ, when they're coming from the player break, you know, they're like, okay, guys, we have like one goal, the second part of the season is actually we're gonna win against Vitality, you know. So this is a second reason why I think it was a bit tricky. I'm pretty sure if the match was played like before the player break, then Vitality, we probably won't see like that match going that way. But with the player break, you know, everything can happen. Third one is a 7-0 problem, how I call it. What is the 7-0 problem? Is the fact that basically during the first season, so in 2025, Vitality beat MOUZ 7 times in a row. Yes, 7. It's actually insane and really spectacular. And the thing is, it's really hard to beat the same team again and again and again and again. Because when you lose, you can actually try to understand what actually makes you lose. What should you do? What should you improve for the next one? How can you beat your opponent? You know, it's had like 7 chances where every match they can try something different to maybe like beat Vitality, to cut them off guard and surprise them and stuff like that, and to adapt to their game style. You know, 7 is a lot, you know. When you are winning, it's actually hard to win again because you know what worked, but you can't do it twice, you know, because the other team will be ready for that. So you have to find new things. Every time you're gonna face the same team, you need to find new tools, new tricks, new stuff to actually win, you know. And it is really hard to beat a team twice in a row, but beating like 7 times, it was already like so insane, you know. I think it actually came down to a mortal point somehow about the 4, 5, 6, you know. And maybe I think the player break actually like also maybe cut that mortal part from MOUZ, and maybe they were like coming with more confidence this time thanks to the player break. And of course, like 7 is already insane, so it wasn't meant to be 8 times in a row, you know. So actually also facing like again and again the same team is the third reason. Fourth reason, communication. Apex, X-Stars, so the in-game leader and the coach, and even they did some French interview in which they were saying like there was some communication problem in the game on the server between the players. The fact that they had less team play as usual, they were not reacting good to tactics, and that's definitely like something like Vitality is known for being really good at, you know, having a really good communication, talking together, reacting, having the good call, you know. For example, Apex in the interview, he was actually giving a little example, which I found out like really interesting. He was saying, for example, on train, there was one round when the other guys, his teammates, wanted to do something towards A main as T, you know, and he was not totally like, he didn't think it was really like a good idea, a good call at this timing, you know, but because he just wanted to say yes to his friends, you know, he didn't have the same confidence as before the prayer break, he just said yes, and it just got totally destroyed. And he said it, like, you know, like normally, like if I have a doubt, I would just say no and we'll do something else. So communication also was not on point on Vitality, so it was not like the Vitality we used to see on the first part of the season. Fifth reason, the utilities. I actually checked the demo and actually checked the match, and it's actually pretty insane to see that many utilities from Vitality had been missed on Mirage and on Train on both maps. Can be smokes, can be flash, and definitely when you are the best team in the world, you don't miss nades. Yes, of course, you will always miss some names because we are all human and sometimes you just don't remember or sometimes you just miss, you know. But the thing is, like, they were missing too much utilities, and when you are using too much utilities, you're gonna have trouble. Talking about the utilities, the thing is also, for example, on train, they definitely didn't manage to hold their economy in a good way, because if you look at their T sides, they are almost like everyone at 1 minute. They don't have smokes, they don't have mollies, they don't have flashes, they only have like AK-47 and like Kevlar, you know, they don't have anything. So of course, when you're gonna hit then the bomb site, especially on train, against AVPs, against off angle, and you don't have any nades to help you giving the space, and I think this is a reason why Flames did it a 118 on that map, is because it's just too hard. It is just too hard, you know. So there was also like economic point on that game where Vitality didn't manage to actually have a good economy, you know. Economy on CS is really important, and if you don't have that on your side, then it can be really hard if you're facing one of the best teams of the world like MOUZ. Sixth reason, actually, anti-ecos. You know, Vitality, normally when you play Vitality, best teams of the world, all 5v4, 5v3, they are really playing it really well, they are locking it down, and somehow, just on train, they lost 2 anti-ecos, one on CT, one on the T. If you look at the anti-ecos they lose on the T, it's because of utilities, as I was saying before, and if they lose the anti-eco on CT, just because it's not Vitality. They are not playing together, they are playing one by one. It's like not the same team. They are losing a 5v2, guys. They are losing a 5v2s against 2 Deagle without carrier. Like, this is just not acceptable, and this is definitely not something we saw from Vitality in the past like 6-7 months, you know. So definitely the player break like hits them hard, and something is not clicking as good as it was just before. So it is really important for them to totally come back, because if they keep doing these mistakes, then the second part of the season can be actually really tricky for them. 7th reason, and the last one, I think we have enough, right? 7 reasons to actually just losing a best of 3 series. I think it's enough. It's actually, when you look at the MOUZ players, the 2 star players, Xertion and Torzi, were actually performing. Xertion averaging a 1.58 rating, almost 110 AD on 2 maps. That's insane. That's really big. And Torzi averaging a 1.48 ratings. You know, if MOUZ want to actually lift some big trophies or beat a team like Vitality, they need their star players to perform like that. Maybe not at that point, but they need to be like on the top of the scoreboard for sure, and to lead the team and to lead the way, you know. And this is exactly what they did here. So it will also, of course, like help MOUZ to be able to beat big teams. So now, talking about the conclusion, I don't think Vitality had some bad luck. I don't think MOUZ was overperforming. I just think like MOUZ played good, but it was definitely a total day off from Vitality, probably a day off that they didn't face that much since the past 6 months. So let's see how can they actually recover from it. It will be really interesting, because maybe it will actually remove some pressure from them and they can come back even stronger for the rest of the season. So this is definitely, I think they had to lose, you know, one day. Of course, it's Cologne, so it hurts more than others, but at the same time, it's the first event, you know, of the season. So if actually it can just make a little smash in the neck, you know, you need, look, if you are not playing at 200% and we are doing the mistake we are not doing before, then we're just gonna lose. If we want to keep winning, we need to always be on the top. And if you want to have a smash in the neck, I think the first event of the season, and Luco, it was Cologne, it's actually really nice, because now they have 4 months in front of them to just like keep being stronger and stronger from an event to another. Other conclusion from MOUZ side, it's actually pretty hard, because considering Vitality level on that match, it's hard to say if it was only due to MOUZ performance. And as we saw, they just got destroyed in the final against Spirit, you know, which is also kind of show how maybe Vitality were so bad in a way, you know. Even if I think MOUZ was mentally playing their final against Vitality and they give it all and give everything, and they didn't have like the same energy, the same confidence, and the same focus going on to the final, because their final was against Vitality. This is also what Dong said in the interview, and I totally agree. Even if we take this part away, I still think that Spirit overall was better than MOUZ because MOUZ didn't play a good final. And yes, they beat Vitality, but as we just spoke about, you know, it was not the Vitality we know in 2025. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments. Do you agree with me? Does it make sense to have like all this information from my side? I'm actually really looking forward to how Vitality can bounce back. I think it will be exciting because we didn't see them lose a big series like that since many months. So now we have something like to really like look up, you know, how can they actually come back? Because I feel like going to the top is not the hardest way. Keeping to the top is one of the hardest things to do for sure, and they did that. But another part that will make you a champion is when you're gonna fall down, how can you actually climb up one more time again? Let me know in the comments what you think, and see you soon, guys. Bye bye.